You do not need everything to start. You only need the courage to use what is already in your hands and take the first step. Waiting for the perfect resources or the perfect moment will only keep you stuck. Progress begins when you decide to move forward with what you have right now. The truth is, every person who succeeded started with limitations. They made the most of their skills, time, and opportunities, and that is exactly how change happens. Today, we will talk about how to start where you are and learn to work with what you have. You will discover practical ways to use your current resources to create progress instead of waiting for ideal conditions. This is about action, growth, and making the best of your present situation. If you're ready to take the first step toward your goals with what you already have, then let's dive in. Number 1. Accept your current situation and take responsibility today. There are people right now sitting in a quiet room, staring at the walls, feeling stuck. They're not lazy. They're not weak. They're overwhelmed. They don't know where to begin. The bills are piling up. The job isn't what they hoped. The relationships feel distant. Their body aches more often than it should, and inside they're wondering, how did it get to this point? That's real. That's raw. That's life. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how good your intentions are, or how much you want things to be different. If you don't stop and face the reality of where you are right now, nothing changes. The truth is, change begins the moment you stop running from where you are and start dealing with it directly. And yes, it's uncomfortable. But being honest with yourself is the start of personal freedom. You can't lie to yourself and expect things to move forward. You can't keep pointing fingers and hoping the world fixes things for you. No one is coming to knock on your door to hand you a better life. The world doesn't owe you anything. Life responds to responsibility. And responsibility starts with saying, this is where I am. And even if I didn't cause it all, it's my job to do something about it. You might be sitting there thinking, but I didn't choose this. I didn't ask for this mess. Maybe that's true. Maybe life handed you some pain you didn't deserve. But here's the deal. You still have to clean it up. No one else can feel what you're feeling. No one else knows the weight you're carrying. And that's why this first step matters so much. Because once you own your story, it stops owning you. Owning your current situation doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're showing up. You're looking at your life, your finances, your health, your habits, your mindset, and you're saying, all right, this is it. This is where I'm starting. And when you do that, something powerful happens. You take your power back. See, as long as you blame, you give your power away. As long as you complain, you delay your progress. Responsibility might feel heavy at first, but it's the only thing strong enough to carry your dreams. Think about it this way. If you woke up in a forest with no idea how you got there, the first thing you'd need to do is figure out exactly where you are. You wouldn't just sprint in a random direction hoping it leads somewhere. You'd stop, look around, learn your surroundings. You'd accept that you're in the forest before you could even think about getting out. Same thing in life. You must accept your current position before you can choose your next move. Now here's what that looks like in real terms. You take out a notebook or your phone, if that's all you've got, and you write it all down. Not the fantasy version, the real version. I'm 38, I'm in debt, I haven't taken care of my health, I keep putting off that business idea, I'm avoiding hard conversations, I'm not where I thought I'd be. Write it like it is. It's not about judging yourself. It's about seeing the truth clearly. Because you cannot solve a problem you refuse to acknowledge. And when you start doing this, when you stop pretending, stop blaming, stop avoiding, you're going to feel something shift. You'll feel a little stronger, a little more grounded, and you'll realize you're not powerless. You've just been distracted from your power by the noise, the excuses, and the fear. But the minute you say, this is mine to deal with, you reclaim it. That's the beginning of self-respect. That's where real growth begins. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is a luxury. Most people are waiting for perfect timing, the perfect mood, the perfect energy. You don't need perfect. You need honest. Motivation doesn't show up to people who wait. It shows up to people who take ownership, who act even when it's hard, even when it's messy, even when the doubts are loud. You don't have to know all the answers today, but you do need to stop running. If you're unhappy, say it. If you've been making excuses, admit it. If you've been hoping someone would save you, wake up. Your life is not a rehearsal. This is the real thing. This is your one shot at building something meaningful. And it starts by facing the facts. Maybe your past is full of mistakes. Maybe you hurt people. Maybe you let yourself down. That doesn't disqualify you. What disqualifies you is refusing to learn from it. What keeps you stuck is not what happened to you. It's what you continue to allow. Responsibility doesn't erase the past. It gives you the strength to rise from it. And once you begin to take responsibility, you'll see how much power you've had all along. You'll start making better choices, not because someone told you to, but because you respect yourself too much to keep living in denial. You'll stop wasting time on blame. You'll start focusing on what you can do with what's in your hands right now, not tomorrow. Today. Don't underestimate today. Today is all you have. You can spend it in regret, or you can use it as a foundation. You can repeat the past, or you can rise from it. But not both. You choose. Accept where you are. Own your role in it. And from that place of truth, real, raw truth, you begin again. And this time, not as a victim. This time as a builder of your own future. No more waiting for life to hand you a miracle. The miracle is that you're still here, breathing, capable, aware. And right now, that's enough to start. Your story's not over unless you decide to stop turning the page. Get up. Look around. This is where you are. It might not be pretty, but it's real. And it's yours. And when you own it, you can change it. Every bit of it, step by step, day by day, starting now. Number 2, identify your strengths and use them to move forward. Most people spend so much time thinking about what they're not good at, they forget they've already survived some of the hardest moments of their lives. That's not small. That's not accidental. That means there's something already inside them that works. But the problem is we live in a world that constantly reminds us of our flaws. You scroll through your phone and see everyone else's highlight reel. Someone's winning awards, someone's on vacation, someone's got the perfect body, the dream job, the flawless routine. And here you are, struggling to get through the day, wondering if you even matter. That kind of comparison can destroy a person from the inside out. But the truth is, it's not that you're missing something. They are just not showing the full picture. Everyone's dealing with something. Everyone's got weaknesses. The difference is, strong people focus on what they do have, not what they don't. If you want to make progress in your life, the first thing you've got to do is turn your focus inward, not to criticize, but to recognize. You've got strengths. Yes, you. You might not feel like it right now, but you've got skills, traits, and experiences that are valuable. Maybe you're a good listener. Maybe you've got patience when others lose theirs. Maybe you're calm under pressure. Maybe you know how to fix things with your hands. Maybe you're a problem solver, someone who doesn't panic when things go wrong. Or maybe you've lived through enough pain that now you've got compassion that others can feel when they're around you. That's a strength, and it counts. What you're good at doesn't always look flashy. It might not come with a title or a trophy. But your strength shows up in the way you keep going when it's hard. The way you show up for others even when you're tired. The way you've managed to keep your head above water even when life tried to pull you under. That counts. It matters. And more importantly, it can be used. The key is to stop waiting for someone to come along and point those things out for you. You don't need someone's permission to believe in your value. You don't need an outside voice to validate your inner ability. The most powerful people in the world didn't get there because someone told them they were great. They got there because they discovered what they were good at, and they used it. They built on it. They didn't spend all their time trying to be everything. They worked with what they had. Now take a hard look at your own life. Think about the moments where you handled something well. Think about when people have come to you for advice or help. That's not random. That means there's something about you that others already see. Pay attention to that. Maybe you're not where you want to be yet, but inside, you are the exact tools you need to take the next step. And it starts by being brutally honest about what you bring to the table. Stop trying to fit into someone else's mold. You weren't meant to do everything. You were meant to do your thing. Some people are great with numbers. Some are great with people. Some know how to build. Some know how to teach. Some can organize chaos. Others can motivate with a single sentence. It doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is that you own it. Use it, and let it lead the way. You don't need a degree to recognize your ability. You don't need approval to use your voice. You don't need a massive following to make an impact. You need clarity about your strengths. Because when you get clear about what you're good at, you stop wasting energy on trying to be someone else. And that's when things begin to shift. Maybe your strength is your resilience. Maybe it's your creativity. Maybe it's your discipline, your empathy, your vision. If you don't know what your strengths are, ask the people who know you best. Not the ones who tear you down, the ones who have seen you at your best and at your worst. Sometimes it takes someone else to reflect your greatness back to you before you can start believing it yourself. But once you see it, don't look away. Don't shrink it down. Use it. Now here's where most people get stuck. They recognize what they're good at, but they don't trust it. They talk themselves out of using it. Who am I to do that? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? That kind of self-talk is poison. It will rob you of every opportunity if you let it. You have to interrupt that thinking. You have to say, I may not be perfect, but I've got something valuable and I'm going to use it. Once you know your strengths, you've got to start building with them. If you're a strong communicator, look for ways to use your voice. If you're good with your hands, find problems that need fixing. If you're a planner, help others get organized. Start using what you have where you are. Not later, not when you feel ready. Right now, because motion creates clarity. The more you use your strengths, the more confidence you build. And the more confidence you build, the more your life begins to move forward. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to use what's already working. Your strengths are the keys to your next level. But keys don't do anything if you never pick them up and put them to use. If you keep telling yourself you're not ready, you'll stay stuck. If you keep saying, maybe someday, then someday becomes never. Take one thing you know you're good at and find one way to apply it this week. That's how you build momentum. That's how you get out of your own way. And the truth is, your strengths aren't just for you. They're meant to serve others too. When you start using them, not only do you grow, but the people around you start to benefit. They see your courage. They see your progress. And you give them permission to do the same. Strength, when shared, becomes even stronger. It creates ripple effects you'll never even fully see. Right now, you have a choice. You can continue focusing on your flaws, your doubts, your limits. Or you can take a deep breath, look within, and start building your life on what you already do well. It's not about having everything. It's about recognizing something and using it well. That's how real progress is made. That's how change begins. Not through perfection, but through the decision to use your strengths to take the next step forward, one real, honest, powerful step at a time. Number 3, make a simple plan using resources you already have. A lot of people are stuck right now, not because they lack ambition, not because they don't want more out of life, but because they've convinced themselves that they don't have enough to begin. They think they need more money, more connections, more time, or some magical set of conditions to suddenly align. So they wait. And while they wait, time slips by. They put their goals on hold, their energy fades, their confidence shrinks, and deep down they start to believe that success is reserved for people who have access to more than they do. That's a trap. The truth is, you don't need to have everything. You just need to start with what's already within reach. Every person has something. It might not look like much from the outside. Maybe you've only got a few hours after work. Maybe you've got a small room to work in. Maybe your budget is tight. Maybe you don't have a big network. But inside that situation is still opportunity. You just have to stop underestimating it. You have to look at your current resources differently. Instead of focusing on what's missing, ask yourself, what can I do with what I've already got? That's where the power of a simple plan comes in. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be complex. In fact, the more complicated you make it, the less likely you are to follow through. Your plan just needs to be realistic and actionable. And more importantly, it needs to fit your current life, not the life you wish you had. Start by writing down exactly what's available to you right now. Not what you wish for, what's real. Maybe you've got a laptop, an internet connection, a library card, a smartphone. Maybe you've got a mentor, a friend who believes in you, or a few books on your shelf you haven't touched. Maybe you've got 30 minutes a night after the kids are asleep. That's something. Write it all down. Because when you can see what you do have, you start to realize you're not as empty-handed as you thought. Next, get clear on what you want to move toward. Don't keep it vague. Vague goals never lead to focused actions. Say it straight. I want to start a small business from home. I want to get healthier. I want to develop a new skill. I want to fix my finances. Whatever it is, write it down in plain words. Then ask yourself, what's the smallest version of this I can begin with right now, using only the tools I already have? Not tomorrow, not when things are perfect. Right now. Let's say your goal is to start a business. You don't need a fancy office. You don't need thousands of dollars. You need a clear idea, a basic offer, and a way to communicate it. That might mean starting with free tools, social media, email, a phone call. That might mean offering your service to a few people for free or at a discount to get momentum. The point is, you can map this out. You can put it on paper. You can build the plan piece by piece. Break it into steps. Simple, bite-sized steps. If the whole thing feels too big, you'll freeze. But if the next step is something small and doable, like researching a topic, making one phone call, sending one email, then it feels manageable. And once you complete one step, you'll feel a small win. And those small wins build up. They build confidence. They build belief. They build rhythm. That's how people move forward, not by taking huge leaps, but by making consistent, intentional progress based on a plan they can actually follow. Now, some people think planning is a waste of time. They say, I just want to take action. But action without direction leads to burnout. A simple plan keeps you focused. It tells you where to put your energy. It protects you from distractions. And most importantly, it gives you something to come back to when life gets busy. Without a plan, it's easy to fall back into old habits. With a plan, you've got something solid to hold on to even when things get tough. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until you feel motivated. That's not how life works. Most people don't feel ready when they start. They feel uncertain. They feel scared. They feel doubtful. But they move anyway. And that movement is what creates momentum. You don't get momentum by thinking. You get it by doing. And when you follow a plan that fits your life, doing becomes much easier. Here's the key. You've got to stop trying to build someone else's plan. Don't copy what works for others if it doesn't work for you. Your plan has to fit your energy, your time, your skills, your resources. If your mornings are full, plan around your evenings. If your budget is tight, use free tools. If you've only got weekends, make them count. You don't need to do what the world expects. You just need to do what works for you and stick to it. Also, write the plan down. Don't keep it in your head. Your brain is for solving problems, not storing plans. Get it on paper or in a document or in an app, whatever you're comfortable with. Seeing it in writing makes it real. It makes you accountable. And every time you check off a task, you build a little more belief in yourself. That's not fluff. That's real psychology. That's how people change from feeling stuck to feeling capable. Understand this. Every plan will need adjustment. You're going to try some things that don't work. You'll make mistakes. You'll face setbacks. That's not failure. That's part of the process. You don't quit when something doesn't go as expected. You adjust. You adapt. You learn. The plan isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about creating a structure so you're not wandering aimlessly. And when you build a plan around what you already have, you stop making excuses. You stop telling yourself that you need more. You start realizing that action beats access. You could have every resource in the world, but if you don't act, none of it matters. And you could have very little, but if you use it wisely, you can change everything. People think success is a big moment. It's not. It's a bunch of small choices made daily based on a plan that you believe in. And belief doesn't come from hype. It comes from doing the work, one step at a time, one task at a time. That's how you change your life. You don't need to wait for someone to come give you permission. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to get serious about the life you want, look around at what's already within your reach, and make a plan that makes sense. Not a perfect one, a real one. That's where it starts. That's how you move forward. And that's how you prove to yourself that you've had enough all along to begin building something better. Number 4, start small and take one actionable step every day. There's a harsh truth most people face every day. They want to change their lives, but the size of the goal paralyzes them. When you think about your dreams all at once, it feels impossible. You look at the mountain ahead, and the weight of what needs to happen presses down so hard, it's easier to do nothing. But here's the reality. Huge changes never happen overnight. They happen because someone decided to take one small step, just one. Then another, then another. The secret to progress is not giant leaps. It's consistent, focused action, one day at a time. Many people feel like if they can't do everything, they won't do anything. That kind of all-or-nothing thinking is a trap. It convinces you to wait until you have time, or have energy, or feel ready. That day rarely comes, and if it does, you're so far behind, it might as well be too late. The truth is, starting small is how the world's most successful people got going. They started with what they could manage, and they built momentum from that. Momentum is more powerful than talent or luck because it keeps you moving even when motivation fades. Look around you. What's one small step you could take today toward your goal? It doesn't have to be big or impressive. It could be as simple as writing a sentence, making a phone call, clearing one small task off your list, or spending 5 minutes learning something new. That's it. One step. That action signals to your brain that you're serious. It breaks the spell of procrastination. It reminds you that progress is possible even in the midst of a busy, complicated life. It's easy to underestimate the power of small actions, but they accumulate. Taking one step every day creates a rhythm. That rhythm creates habits. Habits build character and resilience. And over time, that daily inch turns into a mile, and that mile turns into a journey. The key is to make those steps consistent, not perfect. It doesn't matter if some days you only move a little. What matters is that you keep moving. You build trust with yourself. You prove to yourself that you can be relied on. Many people fail not because they lack effort, but because they try to do too much at once. They burn out and quit. A better way is to focus on one small, clear task each day, something you know you can do without overwhelming yourself. When you break your goal into tiny pieces, you don't get stuck in overwhelm. You don't get caught up in the big picture that feels too distant or complicated. Instead, you focus on what's in front of you. You handle the immediate task with full attention and care. That kind of focus creates momentum faster than any grand plan ever could. When you finish something, even a small thing, you get a sense of accomplishment. That feeling releases chemicals in your brain that motivate you to keep going. This is the science of action. Action builds energy, and energy builds more action. That's how change really happens. It's not through waiting for inspiration. It's through the discipline of showing up every day and doing what needs to be done, no matter how small. If you're worried your small steps won't add up, remind yourself that every expert started as a beginner. Nobody became skilled without putting in consistent effort over time. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to build your life. Every tiny improvement adds up. When you're starting from scratch, the goal is progress, not perfection. And progress always begins with a first step. One common excuse is, "I don't have time." The truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours. It's about how you use them. You don't need an hour to start. You can start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes of focused effort every day adds up to hours over weeks and months. If you're consistent, those hours turn into skills, relationships, and results. If you wait for big blocks of time, you'll probably wait forever. Sometimes fear keeps people from taking that first step. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of not being good enough. That fear is natural. Everyone feels it. But the way forward is to take action despite the fear. Fear fades when you keep moving. It doesn't disappear overnight, but it loses power. Each small step you take builds courage. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Another reason to start small is that life throws curveballs. You can't predict every challenge. When you take tiny steps, you're flexible. You can adjust without losing momentum. You can pick up where you left off after a setback. If you try to do everything at once, a single disruption can stop you completely. But small steps create a path you can walk even when things get tough. One actionable step doesn't mean your entire day has to revolve around your goal. It means you commit to moving forward even if only a little. That tiny commitment changes your mindset. It shifts you from feeling stuck to feeling capable. And that shift is what opens the door to bigger changes. When you realize you can control one small thing today, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. That sense of control is powerful. It's what builds confidence over time. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build through repeated action. When you show yourself that you can follow through on a small task today, you prove you're trustworthy. That trust grows, and the more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to take bigger steps tomorrow. There's no magic to starting small. It's simple, but it's not always easy. It takes courage to begin when the future feels uncertain. It takes discipline to keep going when progress feels slow. But those who commit to small, steady action create results that surprise even themselves. Their lives change, not because they have perfect plans or big resources, but because they do what most people won't. They keep moving forward. Look for the smallest, most meaningful action you can take today. Write it down. Make it your priority. Do it fully, and then do it again tomorrow. Over time, those tiny actions become the foundation of your success. And when you look back, you'll see that the path was never about giant leaps. It was about the courage to start small and the faith to take one step every single day. Number 5. Focus on progress instead of waiting for perfect conditions. There's a hard truth most people face, and it holds them back every single day. They wait for everything to be perfect before they take action. They tell themselves, "I'll start when I have more time," or "I'll begin once I have more money," or "I can't do this until the conditions are just right." It sounds reasonable. It even feels like the smart thing to do. But the reality is this: perfect conditions rarely exist. Waiting for perfection is a form of procrastination wrapped in good intentions. It steals time, energy, and opportunity, and most of all, it steals your chance to move forward. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps turning. If you keep waiting, you'll find yourself stuck in the same place years later, wondering why nothing changed. The truth is, progress is what matters, not perfection. Progress is the only thing that can bring change. It's not about having everything lined up perfectly. It's about making consistent moves forward, no matter how small or imperfect those moves may seem. You have to get comfortable with imperfection because progress thrives in real-world conditions, messy, unpredictable, and often inconvenient. If you wait for a flawless plan, ideal timing, or perfect resources, you'll miss out on growth that only comes from showing up and doing the work in the middle of life's chaos. Progress means starting with what you have, right now, and building from there. It's about focusing on what you can do today, not what you wish you could do someday. It's about embracing the fact that your effort might not be perfect, your results might not be immediate, but every step forward is moving you closer to your goal. Progress is measured in effort, in learning, in trying, even when things aren't perfect. It's a mindset shift that separates people who get stuck from those who keep advancing. One of the biggest traps is the idea that you need to be fully prepared before you begin. It's a lie that keeps too many people frozen. You never have 100% of what you need before you start anything worthwhile. Nobody does. Everyone begins with uncertainty, doubts, and incomplete knowledge. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people take action anyway. They begin before they're perfect. They experiment. They learn as they go. They adjust along the way. Waiting for perfection is waiting to be stopped by fear, disguised as not ready. Progress also means being patient with yourself. Real change doesn't happen overnight, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. When you focus on progress, you celebrate small victories instead of only waiting for big breakthroughs. That changes how you feel. It keeps you motivated. When you recognize and reward your efforts, no matter how small, it fuels your desire to keep moving. It breaks the cycle of frustration and discouragement. Focusing on progress creates a positive cycle where your effort builds momentum and your momentum builds confidence. Another important part of focusing on progress is learning to adapt and be flexible. Life throws challenges at all of us, and no plan survives without adjustment. If you fixate on perfection, you'll be rigid. You'll resist change. You'll get stuck because reality rarely matches your ideal scenario. Progress requires openness to change your approach, rethink your strategies, and keep going even if it looks different from what you imagined. Progress isn't a straight line, and that's okay. It's the forward movement that counts, not the exact path. Too often, people compare themselves to others who seem to have it all figured out. That comparison fuels the myth of perfection and makes waiting even worse. The truth is, every person you admire has made mistakes, faced setbacks, and started before conditions were perfect. They just chose progress over perfection. They showed up consistently, learned from their failures, and kept moving. Comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel is unfair and unhelpful. Focus on your own progress no matter where you are right now. Waiting for perfect conditions also puts your happiness and satisfaction on hold. It tells you that you can't be proud of what you do until everything is just right. That's a dangerous mindset because it means you never feel good enough today. But when you focus on progress, you allow yourself to feel good about the work you're doing now. You recognize growth. You feel accomplishment. That feeling creates positive emotions that keep you going, even on tough days. Sometimes, focusing on progress means lowering your expectations temporarily to avoid overwhelm. You might need to adjust your goals or the pace at which you're moving so you don't burn out. That doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means being realistic about what you can handle today and building from that place. It's better to move slowly and steadily than to rush and crash. Progress is about sustainable growth, not quick fixes. One practical way to focus on progress is to track your efforts and results regularly. When you write down what you've done and what you've learned, you get a clear picture of your movement. This helps you see progress even when it feels slow. It also highlights areas where you can improve. Tracking your progress builds accountability and reinforces the habit of forward movement. Focusing on progress also means forgiving yourself for mistakes. Everyone makes them. They are part of the process. When you slip up or face failure, don't beat yourself up or give up. See mistakes as lessons. Learn what they teach you and move forward with that new knowledge. Progress is messy, but every setback holds value if you keep your eyes on forward movement. When you focus on progress instead of perfect conditions, you take control of your life. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become an active creator of your future. You stop waiting for life to hand you opportunities and start making your own. This mindset builds resilience, resourcefulness, and confidence. It puts you on the path where growth is inevitable because you're committed to showing up regardless of the obstacles. People who wait for perfect conditions often live in a state of frustration and regret. They watch time pass and wonder why nothing changed. Those who focus on progress, on the other hand, build momentum that carries them through hard times and propels them toward their goals. Progress isn't glamorous. It's often slow, uneven, and filled with small adjustments. But it works. It's the real path to success. Your life isn't waiting for permission or perfect timing. Your opportunity is now, right here. It might not be perfect. It might feel uncomfortable or uncertain. That's normal. Focus on what you can do today. Take a step forward, no matter how small. Progress is a choice, a commitment to moving forward despite imperfect conditions. And that choice will change everything over time. Number 6. Learn new skills with free or affordable available tools. Facing the reality that you don't have all the skills you want or need can be a hard pill to swallow. It's uncomfortable to admit you're not an expert yet, or that your knowledge falls short of what you imagine success requires. This feeling is common, and it often leads people to freeze or give up. But the truth is, learning new skills is not a luxury reserved for a select few with endless time or money. In today's world, countless tools and resources exist that allow anyone to learn and grow without spending a fortune or waiting for the right moment. What matters most is your willingness to embrace learning with an open mind and a proactive attitude. Many people believe that acquiring new skills requires expensive courses, fancy degrees, or a ton of free hours, none of which are easily accessible for most. This belief makes the gap between where they are and where they want to be feel impossible to cross. However, this assumption ignores the reality of how learning works now. Technology, libraries, communities, and even social platforms have opened doors that were once tightly locked. With a little creativity and persistence, you can find the knowledge you need at your fingertips, often at no cost at all. The problem is rarely the lack of resources, it's the lack of decision to start and commit. Learning new skills doesn't have to be overwhelming or intimidating. Many people try to take on too much at once and then quit because it feels like climbing a mountain. The secret is to break learning down into manageable pieces. Focus on one skill at a time. Use simple, free, or affordable resources to build your understanding slowly but surely. For example, there are countless videos online that teach everything from basic communication skills to advanced computer programming. Many websites offer free courses or tutorials. Public libraries provide access to books and sometimes workshops. You don't need to spend a fortune or clear your entire schedule to get started. All it takes is a commitment to consistent effort. Sometimes the biggest barrier is not knowing where to begin. It helps to identify the exact skill that will move you forward and then look for beginner-friendly resources that teach that skill step by step. Start with the basics and don't worry about mastery right away. Learning is a process, and every expert began as a beginner. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the small wins as you pick up new knowledge. Progress comes from persistence, not perfection. When you learn at your own pace, the skill becomes part of your daily life, making it easier to apply and build upon. In addition to digital tools and libraries, communities can be a powerful resource. Many local organizations, clubs and groups offer free or low-cost workshops and opportunities to practice new skills. These real-world experiences often add value beyond what you can get from books or videos because you get feedback, encouragement, and the chance to connect with others who share your goals. If you can't find something nearby, online forums and social media groups dedicated to your area of interest can provide support and guidance. Surrounding yourself with people who are learning or experts in the skill can make a huge difference in your progress. The mindset you bring to learning new skills shapes your results. It's important to approach learning with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to make mistakes. The fear of failure or looking inexperienced often holds people back from even trying. But mistakes are part of the journey. They provide feedback that helps you improve. If you're too afraid to try, you miss out on the growth that comes from practice and experience. When you adopt a mindset that sees every mistake as a step forward, learning becomes less stressful and more exciting. Using free and affordable tools to learn also forces you to be resourceful and creative. It encourages you to seek multiple perspectives and combine knowledge in ways that fit your unique situation. For example, you might watch instructional videos, read articles, and join discussions to get a well-rounded understanding of a topic. This active learning approach deepens your skill set and prepares you to adapt what you learn to real challenges. It's not just about absorbing information, it's about making that information work for you. Another practical tip is to set clear, realistic goals for your learning. Decide what you want to achieve with the new skill and set a timeline that fits your schedule. Breaking your goal into smaller milestones makes it easier to track progress and stay motivated. When you reach these smaller targets, it builds your confidence and encourages you to keep going. Without goals, learning can feel aimless, which leads to frustration and quitting. Goals give your effort purpose and direction. Learning new skills with free or affordable tools also means valuing self-discipline. It's easy to get distracted or lose motivation when you don't have a formal class or teacher. That's why creating a routine or dedicated time for learning is crucial. Even 15 to 30 minutes a day consistently can add up to significant progress over weeks and months. The key is making learning a habit, not an occasional event. Habits turn actions into automatic behaviors, which is what leads to real growth. The beauty of acquiring new skills in this way is that it builds confidence. As you see yourself mastering new abilities, even small ones, you prove to yourself that growth is possible. This confidence spills over into other areas of life, fueling a cycle of improvement. Each new skill becomes a stepping stone that opens more doors and creates more opportunities. The power of this approach is that it doesn't rely on luck or special circumstances, only on your commitment and effort. Sometimes you may feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information available. The key is to avoid paralysis by analysis. Instead of trying to learn everything at once, pick one source, start there, and move forward. The internet is full of experts willing to share knowledge, but jumping from one resource to another without focus wastes time. Be selective, trust yourself to learn progressively, and give yourself permission to be a beginner. This method of learning also fosters independence. You become your own teacher and problem solver. Instead of waiting for someone else to show you the way, you take responsibility for your growth. That mindset is powerful and empowering. It shifts you from being passive to active in creating your future. When you rely on free or affordable tools, you learn to adapt, research, and develop skills in a way that fits your life. This independence carries over into confidence in facing challenges beyond just the skills you acquire. There's no better investment than the time and effort put into learning something new. Skills are tools that expand what you can do and who you can become. Free and affordable resources remove many of the traditional barriers, but the choice to start and persist is yours alone. The world is changing fast, and continuous learning isn't optional anymore, it's essential. Embracing this reality and using the tools available gives you a powerful advantage in achieving your goals. The process of learning new skills is not about perfection or becoming an expert overnight. It's about steady improvement, curiosity, and the courage to begin where you are. With the countless resources available today, anyone can grow beyond their current limits. The moment you decide to pick up a new skill using free or affordable tools, you're taking control of your future. That decision sets in motion a journey that builds not only abilities, but also character and resilience. The key is to start, keep going, and trust that every small step forward adds up to something bigger. Number 7. Turn your limitations into creative opportunities for growth. Life does not always hand you what you want on a silver platter. Sometimes the very things you see as barriers or limits become the reason you hesitate or even stop moving forward altogether. It's a hard reality that many people face feeling stuck because their resources, talents, or circumstances don't match their ambitions. You might look around and see what's missing: not enough money, not enough education, not enough time. Those gaps feel like walls. But the truth is, every limitation can be transformed into a stepping stone. When you change how you view your challenges, you unlock a powerful way to grow that most people miss. At first, limitations seem like a dead end. They push us into a corner where it feels like no progress is possible. This feeling can be heavy frustration and discouragement weigh on the spirit. You might think, if only I had more, then I could. But thinking this way traps you in waiting mode. Waiting for more time, more money, more support. Waiting for conditions to be perfect before you start moving. That waiting often lasts longer than you want. It's the enemy of action. But what if those limits are actually invitations? What if they are the very things forcing you to think differently and get creative? Creative opportunity means seeing your situation not as a problem, but as a puzzle to solve with what you have. When resources are tight, you learn to stretch them. When skills are missing, you find new ways to approach the problem. Constraints sharpen your mind. They force innovation. History is full of stories where great success came not from perfect conditions, but from people who refused to be stopped by what they lacked. They looked at their situation honestly and asked, "How can I use this?" Take time to examine your limitations closely. Write them down. Understand what they really are and how they affect your goals. Once you clearly see the boundaries, begin brainstorming ways to work around or through them. For example, if you lack money for a project, what low-cost alternatives exist? If you don't have a formal education, what practical experience or self-taught knowledge can you build on? If time is scarce, what small focused actions can fit into your day? Limitations force you to focus, simplify, and prioritize what really matters. Turning limits into opportunities is about attitude as much as action. It's a shift from "I can't" to "How can I?" It's about curiosity, resilience, and resourcefulness. The people who succeed despite limits see obstacles as challenges to overcome, not reasons to quit. They break down big problems into smaller, manageable pieces and find creative solutions for each step. This approach opens doors that seemed locked before. It changes your mindset from scarcity to possibility, from defeat to determination. When you use your limitations as creative fuel, you build skills that go beyond just solving one problem. You develop critical thinking, adaptability, and confidence in your own ability to handle uncertainty. These skills become valuable assets that serve you in every area of life. Instead of being held back by your circumstances, you become stronger because you had to find a way. That strength carries forward and prepares you for future challenges that will come your way. Sometimes limitations help you discover hidden talents or interests you wouldn't have found otherwise. For example, not having a big budget might push you to learn marketing yourself or develop negotiation skills. A lack of formal education might push you to network with mentors or study independently. The challenge forces you to explore new paths and grow in unexpected ways. This kind of growth is often more meaningful and lasting than easy success. It's important to recognize that this process takes time and patience. Using your limits creatively is not a quick fix or a magical solution. It requires persistence and a willingness to experiment. You might try something that doesn't work, and that's okay. Failure in this context is not a stop sign but a learning moment. Every attempt brings you closer to finding what does work. It's a journey of trial, error, and refinement. One of the most powerful things about turning limitations into opportunities is the freedom it gives you. When you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start working with what you have, you reclaim control over your life. You become the driver of your own progress. This freedom is energizing. It replaces helplessness with hope and uncertainty with action. That feeling alone can push you further than you imagined. Look around for examples of people who have used their limits as stepping stones. Many innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders started with fewer resources than you have right now. Their creativity came from necessity. Their breakthroughs were born from the pressure of limits. These stories are not just inspiring, they are proof that this approach works. Your limitations are not unique. What matters is how you respond to them. It's natural to feel fear or doubt when facing limits. Those feelings are signals, not stops. They remind you to be cautious, but not to stop trying. Accept that fear is part of the process. Use it as a guide to prepare and plan, but do not let it paralyze you. Courage doesn't mean absence of fear. It means moving forward despite it. Finding ways to turn your limits into creative opportunities also means being open to help and feedback. Sometimes others can see solutions you missed or offer support that changes the game. Collaboration and asking for advice do not weaken you, they expand your resources. Sharing your challenges with others can lead to new ideas and partnerships that make your path easier. Your limits do not mean you must walk alone. Each day you can practice this way of thinking. When a problem arises, ask yourself, what opportunity is hidden here? How can I use this situation to grow or improve? Making this a habit rewires your brain to focus on solutions instead of obstacles. Over time, this mindset becomes automatic. You start to expect progress even in tough times because you know you can turn limits into advantage. The path to success is rarely smooth or easy. Most people who achieve something meaningful face setbacks and barriers. What sets them apart is not having fewer problems, but choosing to see those problems differently. Turning limitations into opportunities is about resilience, creativity, and the refusal to let circumstances dictate your future. It's about trusting yourself to find a way forward no matter what's in your path. This way of thinking frees you from waiting for permission or perfect conditions. It empowers you to act now with what you have. It reminds you that growth happens when you engage actively with your situation, not when you wait for things to change. The power lies in your response, your choices, and your willingness to see possibility in every challenge. That power is in your hands today. Number 8. Build confidence by completing small, achievable daily tasks. There's a quiet struggle that many face every day. The battle with doubt, with fear, with that little voice inside telling you that maybe you're not enough or not ready. Confidence doesn't just appear overnight like magic. It's not something you're born with fully formed or given as a gift. It is built, piece by piece, through consistent action. Many people wait for some big breakthrough or a huge win to feel confident. But the truth is, confidence grows in the little moments. In the small tasks you complete day after day. It is the result of showing up, doing the work, and proving to yourself that you can. When you begin building confidence this way, it becomes real, steady, and reliable, not a fragile thing that depends on external validation or luck. The first challenge is often just getting started. When life feels overwhelming or when your goals seem distant, the idea of making a big change can freeze you. You think about all you have to do, and it feels like climbing a mountain barefoot. But confidence isn't about conquering the mountain in one step. It's about putting one foot in front of the other. By focusing on small, achievable tasks every day, you create a series of wins that feed your spirit and build momentum. These wins don't have to be dramatic. They might be as simple as sending an email, learning a new word, organizing your workspace, or writing a sentence toward your goal. Each action adds a brick to your foundation of confidence. One reason small daily tasks are so powerful is that they give you control. When you accomplish something, no matter how small, you experience success firsthand. That success rewires your brain. It replaces the stories of doubt with facts. It's proof that you're capable. Over time, your mind stops focusing on what you can't do and begins to see what you have done. This shift creates a positive cycle where confidence and action feed each other. The more you do, the more confident you become. The more confident you are, the easier it is to take the next step. It's important to choose tasks that are realistic and within your reach. If the task feels too big or too hard, it can backfire and make you feel defeated. Breaking your goals into smaller chunks makes the process manageable. Each day, pick something you can complete. Completing tasks triggers a sense of accomplishment that can be deeply satisfying. That satisfaction motivates you to keep going. It becomes a habit, a rhythm that makes progress feel natural and inevitable. Building confidence this way also helps reduce fear of failure. When you take on small tasks, the risk of messing up is low. This lowers the stakes and makes it easier to try. You learn through experience. You get feedback. You adjust and improve without feeling overwhelmed. Mistakes become part of the process, not reasons to quit. Confidence grows because you realize that even if things don't go perfectly, you can handle it. You can learn and keep moving forward. One of the most overlooked aspects of building confidence is consistency. It's not enough to do something small once or twice and then wait for a feeling of confidence to appear. Confidence builds over time, like muscles getting stronger with regular exercise. Doing a little every day is what counts. This steady effort shows your mind and body that you are committed. It changes your self-image. You start seeing yourself as a person who takes action and delivers results. That identity is a powerful driver of confidence. Pay attention to how completing tasks affects your mood and mindset. There's a real emotional lift that comes from checking off a task or finishing a piece of work. It can bring relief from anxiety and a sense of pride. Celebrate these moments. Give yourself credit. This positive reinforcement strengthens your desire to keep going. It trains your brain to associate effort with reward, which builds motivation alongside confidence. Another key to building confidence is tracking your progress. Keep a journal, list, or app where you record what you accomplish each day. Looking back over time, you'll see how far you've come. This visual reminder is a powerful tool when doubt creeps in. It shows you the truth of your growth. Sometimes progress happens so gradually that it's easy to forget. Seeing your efforts documented builds a strong foundation for believing in yourself. Confidence built on small tasks doesn't mean you avoid big challenges. Instead, it prepares you to face those challenges with a stronger mindset. When the big moment arrives, you're not stepping into the unknown without experience. You've developed a track record of achievement, no matter how small. This foundation gives you courage. It allows you to stay calm, focused, and resilient in tough situations. It's natural to want quick fixes or to look for shortcuts to confidence. But real confidence is earned through effort and discipline. It requires patience and faith in the process. The daily commitment to small actions is your way of investing in yourself. You are building a skill that impacts every part of your life, your work, your relationships, your health, and your happiness. Confidence is the bridge that connects your current self to your future possibilities. Sometimes the smallest steps require the greatest courage. Facing your doubts and pushing forward in the face of uncertainty is not easy. Yet every step you take is a victory over fear. It's proof that you can trust yourself to keep going. This trust is the essence of confidence. It's what turns hesitation into action, worry into focus, and dreams into reality. Recognize the power of this process and commit to it today. No matter where you start, no matter how small your daily task, it matters. These actions build a new foundation for your life. They create a momentum that carries you forward when times get tough. Confidence built through daily achievements is lasting because it comes from real experience, not wishful thinking. As you continue this practice, you'll notice a change in how you see challenges. They become opportunities to prove your strength and ability. You will feel more calm in uncertainty and more excited about growth. This confidence will ripple through every part of your life, making it easier to take risks, try new things, and reach for what matters most. Every day is a chance to build your confidence. Choose small tasks you can finish. Follow through with discipline. Celebrate each success, no matter how minor it seems. Track your progress and use it to fuel your belief in yourself. This steady effort creates an unshakable foundation that supports your journey toward the life you want. Confidence is not a destination. It's a muscle you develop through consistent practice. When you build it with small, achievable daily tasks, you give yourself the power to overcome doubt and move forward with certainty. This power is available to anyone willing to commit, act, and believe in their own ability to grow. Number 9. Seek help and collaborate with people in your network. It's a tough truth that most people don't want to admit. Too many try to carry their burdens alone, thinking they have to figure everything out by themselves. The reality is that trying to do it all alone usually slows down progress and drains your energy. When you look closely at the most successful people, you'll see a common pattern. They reach out, ask for help, and work with others. Nobody succeeds in a vacuum. Collaboration and seeking support are not signs of weakness. They are powerful tools that unlock new possibilities and accelerate growth. The people around you can offer perspectives, resources, and encouragement that you can't access alone. If you're serious about making a change and working with what you have, building connections and leaning on your network is essential. The first barrier is often pride or fear. Many hesitate to ask for help because they worry about being seen as incapable. But the truth is, everyone needs assistance at some point. The smartest, most accomplished individuals are often those who are willing to admit what they don't know and actively seek guidance. This kind of openness creates space for learning and collaboration. Instead of draining your energy trying to do everything yourself, you redirect your focus by involving others who complement your skills and fill in gaps. When you stop trying to be perfect on your own and start engaging with others, you gain access to a much larger pool of knowledge and support. Reaching out doesn't mean you have to have a massive network or know famous people. It's about tapping into the community that already surrounds you: friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, even online groups. These people have different experiences and strengths. When you invite their input, you open doors to opportunities and ideas you may have missed. Simple conversations can spark new approaches and motivate you to keep moving forward. It's easy to underestimate the power of connection until you experience it firsthand. Collaboration isn't just about getting help. It's about creating a shared energy that pushes everyone involved towards success. Sometimes people avoid collaboration because they think it will take too much time or cause conflict. But when you focus on shared goals and mutual respect, working with others becomes a source of strength. It helps to communicate clearly about what you need and what you can offer in return. Collaboration is a two-way street. It's not just about taking help, but also giving support. When you build reciprocal relationships, trust grows. That trust makes it easier to overcome obstacles and face challenges with confidence, knowing you have people who believe in you and want to see you succeed. One of the biggest benefits of collaborating is that it expands your perspective. When you rely only on your own thoughts, you might get stuck in patterns of doubt or limited thinking. Other people bring fresh ideas, creative solutions, and different ways of looking at problems. This diversity can be the key to breaking through barriers that seemed impossible alone. It can reveal new paths and make challenges feel less daunting. Collaboration turns a lonely struggle into a shared mission. It's important to be selective about who you collaborate with. Not everyone will be positive or constructive. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, who listen, and who challenge you to be better. Their energy will fuel your motivation. Negative or draining relationships can sap your confidence and slow your progress. Choose to connect with those who build you up and help you focus on possibilities instead of limitations. Technology today makes it easier than ever to seek help and collaborate beyond your immediate circle. Online communities, social media groups, forums, and professional networks provide access to people around the world with common interests and goals. These platforms offer a wealth of knowledge and support that can be tapped into at any time. Whether it's advice, encouragement, or sharing resources, digital connections expand your network in ways previous generations could only dream of. Taking advantage of these tools can jumpstart your progress even when local support is limited. Collaboration also helps you develop skills that are crucial for long-term success. Learning how to communicate effectively, negotiate, compromise, and build relationships strengthens your ability to work with others in any setting. These skills make you more adaptable and resilient. They prepare you to handle conflicts and setbacks without losing momentum. When you collaborate regularly, you practice patience and empathy, which deepen your understanding of people and situations. These qualities are essential for leadership and influence. In moments of doubt or discouragement, leaning on your network provides emotional support that's just as important as practical help. Sharing your struggles with someone who understands can relieve stress and renew your determination. It reminds you that you're not alone and that setbacks are part of the process, not the end of the road. Encouragement from others can restore your belief in yourself and help you see beyond temporary difficulties. Effective collaboration requires humility and a willingness to learn. It means putting aside ego and being open to feedback, even when it's uncomfortable. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. By inviting others to participate in your journey, you expose yourself to new challenges and learning opportunities. This openness makes your progress richer and more sustainable. It prevents the isolation that often leads to burnout and frustration. When you collaborate, you also multiply your resources. Two minds are better than one, but a group can achieve much more. Shared knowledge, skills, time, and energy accelerate your ability to solve problems and reach your goals. You can divide tasks based on strengths, reducing overwhelm and increasing efficiency. This cooperative approach creates a sense of shared responsibility and collective success that fuels motivation. Sometimes collaboration starts with a simple question. Who do I know that can help me with this? Who has experience in this area? Who can offer advice or encouragement? Start by reaching out and having honest conversations. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable about where you are and what you need. Most people want to help but don't know how unless you ask. The courage to seek support can open doors you didn't expect. There's also power in giving back to your network. Helping others not only strengthens your relationships but also reinforces your own skills and confidence. Teaching, sharing, or supporting someone else reminds you of your value. It creates a cycle of positive energy and growth that benefits everyone involved. When collaboration becomes a habit, you build a community of mutual growth and trust that sustains you through any challenge. Keep in mind that collaboration is a journey, not a one-time event. It takes time to build strong relationships and networks. Be patient and consistent in your efforts. Invest in others, and they will invest in you. This reciprocal dynamic becomes one of your greatest assets in working with what you have and creating the future you desire. The process of seeking help and collaborating breaks down barriers and transforms isolation into connection. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, realizing that resources, ideas, and support are all around you, waiting to be tapped. This awareness changes how you approach your goals, making them feel more achievable and less overwhelming. When you collaborate, you don't just survive your situation, you use it as a foundation for something greater. Trust in the power of your network and the strength that comes from working together. Number 10, stay flexible and adaptable to overcome obstacles and changes. Life rarely follows the script we imagine for ourselves. The sudden changes, unexpected obstacles, and shifting circumstances can feel like relentless forces pushing us off course. This is a hard reality most people confront, often with frustration and confusion. The moments when everything you planned unravels can be the most discouraging times. Yet those who find lasting success aren't the ones who stubbornly cling to a fixed plan without room to adjust. Instead, they are the ones who embrace flexibility and adaptability as vital tools for navigating the unpredictable nature of life. Accepting that change is inevitable, and learning how to pivot gracefully can be the difference between being stuck and moving forward. The first step toward becoming more adaptable is recognizing that rigidity in your thinking or actions can become a major barrier. When you are too attached to one way of doing things or a single outcome, you limit your options. This narrow focus can create resistance when circumstances shift, making challenges feel insurmountable. Flexibility means opening yourself up to alternative paths and solutions. It means understanding that your original plan is not set in stone, but a starting point that might need adjustment. This mindset reduces frustration and keeps you from feeling defeated when the unexpected happens. One of the biggest tests of adaptability comes when obstacles arise that you hadn't anticipated. Whether it's losing a job, a failed relationship, financial difficulties, or health problems, these disruptions can shake your foundation. Instead of being overwhelmed by these setbacks, adaptable people see them as signals to reassess and modify their approach. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals. Rather, it means finding new ways to pursue them given the changed circumstances. The ability to reframe problems as opportunities to learn and grow transforms adversity into a source of strength. Being flexible also involves managing your expectations. Many people suffer because they expect life to go a certain way and become rigid when reality differs. This attachment to fixed expectations causes unnecessary stress and disappointment. When you cultivate adaptability, you learn to accept what you cannot control and focus on what you can influence. This shift in perspective empowers you to respond constructively rather than react emotionally. It helps maintain your sense of agency and calm even when situations feel chaotic. Another essential aspect of adaptability is developing a problem-solving mindset that thrives on creativity and innovation. When the usual methods don't work, being willing to experiment and try new tactics opens doors to solutions you might not have considered. This willingness to explore alternatives encourages growth and reduces the fear of failure. Flexibility means being comfortable with uncertainty and trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way. It nurtures resilience because you know you can adjust and find a way forward, no matter the challenge. It's important to realize that adaptability is a skill you can build over time. It requires practice and intentional effort. Start by noticing how you react to change and obstacles in your daily life. Do you resist or embrace them? When things don't go as planned, take a moment to pause, reflect, and consider how you might shift your approach. Instead of focusing on what's lost or wrong, ask yourself what can be done differently. This habit rewires your brain to look for opportunities in every situation, reinforcing a flexible mindset. Flexibility also means being open to feedback and willing to revise your ideas and plans based on new information. Sometimes stubbornness keeps people locked into ineffective strategies because they refuse to listen or learn. Adaptable individuals actively seek input and consider other viewpoints, which enriches their understanding and improves decision-making. This openness helps avoid costly mistakes and allows quicker course corrections, saving time and resources in the long run. Moreover, staying adaptable requires balancing persistence with the ability to let go when necessary. There's a difference between stubbornly clinging to a failing plan and having the perseverance to keep working toward your goals. Adaptability involves knowing when to hold on and when to pivot or change direction. This discernment is critical to maintaining momentum without wasting energy on dead ends. It means being flexible enough to experiment but wise enough to recognize when a shift is essential. In a rapidly changing world, adaptability is no longer just a nice-to-have trait, it's a survival skill. Industries evolve, technologies advance, and social landscapes transform at a pace that demands constant adjustment. Those who resist change often fall behind. Conversely, those who embrace flexibility find ways to capitalize on new trends and opportunities. This readiness to adapt keeps you relevant and competitive, no matter what life throws at you. Emotional flexibility plays a crucial role as well. Change and obstacles often trigger fear, anxiety, or frustration. Being emotionally adaptable means developing the capacity to manage these feelings without becoming overwhelmed or stuck. It involves cultivating self-awareness, practicing mindfulness, and developing coping strategies that keep your emotions balanced. When you regulate your emotional responses effectively, you can think more clearly and act decisively in the face of uncertainty. Additionally, flexibility supports better relationships. When you remain open and adaptable, you communicate more effectively and negotiate conflicts with less tension. Others appreciate your willingness to listen and adjust, creating stronger bonds and collaboration. This relational adaptability builds social support networks that further bolster your resilience. Being flexible also encourages a growth mindset, a belief that abilities and intelligence can develop through effort and learning. This mindset is the foundation of adaptability because it embraces challenges as opportunities to improve. When you adopt this outlook, setbacks become temporary hurdles rather than permanent failures. You start to view every experience as a chance to expand your skills and knowledge, which propels you forward. Of course, staying flexible doesn't mean abandoning discipline or commitment. It's about combining a clear sense of purpose with the agility to modify your path as needed. This balance creates a dynamic approach to life where you hold on to your goals but remain open to different ways of achieving them. It's a powerful combination that fosters both direction and freedom. Ultimately, mastering adaptability transforms how you handle life's uncertainties. Instead of fearing change or resisting challenges, you learn to flow with them. You develop confidence in your ability to navigate complexity and create new possibilities from disruption. This adaptability not only helps you survive difficult times, but thrive and grow stronger because of them. In the face of relentless change and obstacles, your willingness to stay flexible and adaptable becomes your greatest asset. It shifts your experience from one of struggle and limitation to one of opportunity and resilience. When you embrace this truth, you equip yourself to meet whatever life brings with strength, creativity, and unwavering forward momentum. This mindset frees you from being trapped by circumstance and empowers you to shape your own path, no matter how unpredictable the journey may be.